BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from Tranvits Institute of Technology, Kanpur. And this is my solution for TCS InfraMind Season 4 Round 2 Business Use Case Enterprise AI. So I have chosen one of the business process, which is how to ascertain customer retention and ensure lesser churn. So here is the requirement to make a ML model that should be capable of predicting the customer churn rate. So without any further delay, so let's get started.
This is our project folder named as customer churn, and it has all the files required for running our project. So this is our static folder which has all the images. This is our template folder which has index.html and about.html file. This is app.py file which have code for related to Flask and frontend, and this is requirements.txt. as we can see that these have all the libraries which we have to install before running our project. And this is telecom customer churn.csv, basically known as data set which we are going to use for our training and testing purpose. And after running our Jupyter notebook, we have saved our model using pickle library. So there is a file with the .pkl extension, and this is our Jupyter notebook. Telecom customer churn dataset. It has 7043 records and 21 columns or features like gender, senior citizen, partners, and tenure, phone services, multiple lines, on the basis of which we are going to build our churn prediction model. So let's over to our Jupyter notebook where we have built our model. So for running our code, I have used Jupyter notebook because of its versatile nature, powerful and shareable nature. It provides the ability to perform data visualization in the same environment. So in the first cell, I have imported some necessary libraries like NumPy and Pandas for data manipulation and analysis and mathematical operation on arrays. In the next cell, I have loaded the data set using Pandas library and in the next cell I have used the df.head command. It represents the first 5 rows of our data, or we can say the records of our data, having 21 features. In the next cell I have used the df.shape command, which tells us the dimensionality of our data set. So it tells that it has 7043 records and 21 features. So for getting more information on our data, I have used df.info command. At last it summarizes it, and it gives as a like the float type has 1 column, and there are 2 columns of integer type and 18 columns of object type. In the next cell I have imported the pandas profiling package. I have already installed this package using the pip install pandas profiling command and use the profiling report method for generating the report inside the method that I have loaded the data set. And after running the cell, we can see that it has generated the report like this. So it tells about the data set statistics, or we can say the data set info, like the number of variables, there are 21, and the number of observations. There are 0 missing cells, means there are 0 missing values, and duplicate values or duplicate rows are 0, and there are 14 categorical variable types, and there are 2 numeric variable and 5 boolean variables. On further we can see that under variables we have a customer ID which represent as it has a categorical values, and these are the some data of customer ID, and there are 0 null values. Similarly in gender also we can see that it has 2 distinct values like male and female, and there is the count of male and female, and it also have a categorical type. So similarly it generate a report of all the features, all 21 features, and on scrolling down we can see so on further we can say there is an interactions between the monthly charges and the tenure, On further scrolling, we can see the correlations between important numerical variables. So after that we are checking if there is still any null values. Maybe the profiling report has missed, so we are again giving the command like df.isNull.sum. If there are any missing value or null values in a data, it will return 1, but as we can see there is no null values in the data. So in the next cell we have converted the string values into integer values. As we know that machine learning only understand the numeric values, so we need to convert these string values into numeric values. So churn is our target variable. So there are two values, yes and no. So yes depicts customer will churn out, and no depicts customer will not churn out. So 0 is initialized to no, and 1 is initialized to yes. So we have converted the string values yes and no of a churn column to 1 and 0 respectively. So in this cell, column multiple lines which have values like no, yes and no phone services. So values like no phone service and no is just like one and same thing. So we are converting no phone service with no with the help of replace method. In the next cell we have column internet service which have value fiber optic, and I have replaced the fiber optic with the fiber optic without spaces. So this is I have done because of one hot encoding. When we are doing one hot encoding on these columns which have categorical variables, so it converting the columns into the types of multiple columns having type of categories. So it makes the column new column with the same name, but it adds the space in the suffix. So it creates a problem for fetching the data from the front end. Here is the code after one hot encoding. So I have converted and removed the space from between the variables, so that's why now it shows the column that these are the columns without any spaces. Similarly I have done for contract column, in which I have replaced 1 year with the 1 year and 2 year with without space 2 year. And similarly for payment method I have done with electronic check and mail check. And and there is one more column, no internet service, no and yes. So the no internet service and no is just like one thing and same thing. So we are converting no internet service with no with the help of reduce method. So these are the list of columns which contains the no internet service, and I have converted with the no value. So in this cell, column total charges are shown as a categorical in profiling report, but it also shows it contains some float values. So get data in the right form and consistent data, I have changed the values into the float type, and I have changed the column values to a float data type by using the as type float function. So in the next column we can see that I have imported the Plotly library for data visualization. So I have used Plotly library for several advantages over Matplotlib. So it saves time when initially exploring our data sets and make it easy to modify and explore our plot. So for importing Plotly library, you have to first install Plotly package, and from Plotly package I have imported the plotly.offline function, as which allows you to generate a graph offline and save them in local machine, and plotly.graph_obj as go. In the next column we have converted the string values available in the churn to a integer value, the 0 and the 1 into the integer form. In the next column we have plotted the pie chart. So as we can see that the customer churn, and in which the 26.6% shows that the customers are churned out, and 73.4% shows the customers are still loyal with the companies and they have not churned out. So for plotting the graph, we have used the pie chart associated with our plotly.graph underscore object package, which I have named as go. And now we have stored the values like 0 and v in the plot underscore by underscore churn underscore labels, and the count of all these values in plot by underscore churn underscore value variable. And for plotting the data, we have used the go.py, and we have used several parameters like the label values and markers, in which we have used the color as medium sea green, stale green, and the line color which is white, and the width is 4.5 as we can see, and the rotation is 90 degree, and the hover info, which is the label plus value plus text. If we hover our mouse over this, then it shows that the the label is like 1, and the total count, and the value, and the text. And similarly we have used the go.layout, which generates the layout of our graph using the colors and the title customer churn, as we can say here. And then for plotting the iplot function to plot the graph. Similarly we have visualized the churn rate by the contract duration. So same out the methods. So as we can see that the customer which have a shorter contract are likely to churn more, and the customer which have a contract for longer duration are less to churn. In the next column we can see that the churn rate by the internet services. So as we can see, the customers who are opted for fiber optic are frequently churning out, and with which those who do not have internet service are less churning out, and those who have DLS service are greater to churn out. Maybe this is because of purchase price or the plans. In the next column we can see the customer churn by gender. Female customers are churning more frequently than the male customer. So in the next column plotted the graph that is churn rate by the tech support. So we can see the customer who does not have a tech support are likely to churn more than the customer who have a tech support. Churn rate by payment method. So customer who are doing the payment with the electronic check are more likely to churn out, and with the other payment methods are less to churn. And the last one is the utilization between the tenure and the churn rate. So as we can see that the tenure is high, then the churn rate of a customer is less. If the tenure is less, then the customer's churn rate is higher. After visualization we have performed one-hot encoding. So one-hot encoding is a representation of categorical variables as binary vector. It used to split the column which contains categorical data to many columns depending on the number of categories present in that column. So each column contains 0 or 1 corresponding to which column it has been placed. The method has 3 arguments, and we have used pandas get dummy method, which has 3 arguments. Like the first one is data frame, the second one is column containing a list of all the features which have categorical variables, and the third one is drop underscore first is equal to true. So it drops the first value from the column because one column indicates that the value of the other column. For example, the gender column has 2 values, male and female. If male has 1, then the female has 0, and vice versa. So that's why we have dropped the first column. And after doing one-hot encoding, you can see it has converted the categorical column into numerical column or a binary. After one-hot encoding, we have performed feature scaling on columns tenure, monthly charges, and total charges, because these columns are not on the same scale. So we are going to use the data of these columns for training purpose, and we maybe not get optimized prediction. So we will bring them on the same scale using the standard scaler class from sklearn.preprocessing package. And we have created the object of standard scaler and passed the list of these columns into a variable column underscore for underscore ft underscore scaling. And we have applied fit underscore transform method for feature scaling. After feature scaling, we can see that all these three columns are on a same scale. Selecting over the target variable and the feature variable x, so we have chosen the target variable y and the column which is churn, and x variable in which we are containing all the column except churn and customer id, which is of no use. So in the next column we can see that we have imported train test split library of sklearn.model underscore selection, so which is used to train and split our data into the 70 and the 30 percent. For test size we have mentioned 0.3 and random state is equal to 50. And so after that we have imported some important libraries or of machine learning. So we can see that the logistic regression, support vector machine, random forest classifier, and the metrics from the sklearn, which is used to give the accuracy of a particular model. So in the next column we have used the logistic regression function, and we have created the object of this function, and then we have used the fit method in which we have passed the x train and the y train. We use the predict function to predict the unseen data and stored into the pred variable. So for finding out the accuracy of a model, we have used the accuracy underscore score method of matrix, and we have passed the y test and pred variable. So similarly we have performed the accuracy of support vector machine and the random forest classifier, and after that we have used confusion matrix from sklearn.matrix package. So confusion matrix is a error matrix which gives the result in a table that is often used to describe the performance of a classification model on a set of data. So as we can see that after running this cell we have 1395 correct values and 317 correct values and 232 incorrect values and 166 incorrect value. The correct prediction of 1712 and incorrect prediction 398. After confusion matrix we have compared our model accuracy, and in model variable we have a list of our models like logistic regression, support vector machine, random forest. In score we have accuracy of all these models, and we have in the next line we have sorted these model on the basis of their scores. In the next line we have set the index by score. And so by running this cell we can see that the logistic regression has the highest accuracy, support vector machine has the second highest accuracy, and the random forest has the third highest accuracy. So after that we have picked our model with the model which gives the highest accuracy. So in this case logistic regression is giving the highest accuracy of 81.14%. So what is pickle? So pickle is a module which is used for serializing and deserializing a Python object structure. Any object in Python can be pickled so that it can be saved on disk. So this is a app.py file where we have used Flask for creating our web page. And Flask is a web frame for Python, and we have imported all the important libraries of Flask like request, render underscore template, Josonify, and other libraries like pickle, numpy, sklearn. And for loading our data we have used pickle, and then for routing to the particular page we have used app.route function which routes to that particular page with the help of render underscore template. In template folder we have both the files index and about.html file. So the app.route about in which the render templates route to the about.html, and then the third one is the app.route the predict, which takes the method from method is equal to post, so which takes the values from the form and predict the model. So this is the request dot method is equal to post, so it takes all the values from the form and stores in a particular column like a tenure field, a contract field, similarly in gender, internet services. And for rendering the result on the HTML, so first we have to predict the result So for prediction we have stored all the values in an array, and for passing that array into a numpy array, and after that we have used model.predict for predicting the result. So after prediction it gives whether the customer will leave or the customer will not leave. On the run button you can see it started debugging and restarting. So on clicking on the link, this is our local host. So on clicking on this it will open the web application. Here is our web application, telecom customer churn prediction, where user enter the details and click on the submit button to predict the output. So let's take an example. For example, tenure should be 30, monthly charges 30, total charges 50, online backup should be yes, online security no, payment method mailed check, senior citizen no, dependent no, female, and predict the output. So we can see the customer will not leave. It means the customer is loyal with the company and he does not leave the company. Let's take another example. Tenure should be 20, monthly charges 150, total charges 250, online backup no, senior citizen okay, and mail. So all these are the values are default. If a customer want to select any of these, he can select with the help of select option. So let's predict the output, and we can see the customer will leave the company, means the customer will churned out. So this is about, and for more information you can click on the about. So it tells about the more information about data, like factors affecting means the columns in a data set. So it tells the total number of columns, customer ID, gender, senior citizens, and it tells about what is customer churn, a small information, or we can say definition about what is actually customer churn. And then here is a data visualization we have given in the about data, because maybe a user is not able to view the Jupyter notebook and not able to understand. So here is like we have also give the explanation. The graph represent that 73.4% of customer was not churn and 26% of 6 was churn, and the churn rate by internet services similarly, and churn rate by gender, also churn rate by tech support, churn rate by tenure. And in the last we have shown that logistic regression is giving the highest score. So that's why we have used the logistic regression for saving our model and for dumping the model on the disk. So this is our index.html file, where we have taken the input from the user. So these are some important libraries which I have imported, and so this is the navbar section, and this is the heading part and the title of our project, whatever is displaying on the web page. And this is the form where we are entering the values, and then form is sending the values to the server. So similarly we have made the text box and for every features. So as we can see, and this is from where our footer starts, and these are the all social buttons which I have included in the footer section, and this is the all CSS starts from here. And second file is about.html file, where we have shown more about our data. So similarly the navbar and the footer is same like index.html, and there is the information about data, the heading, and then the card body, where we have entered all the features, important features of our data. And similarly then we have the row, and we have divided the row into the columns for presentation of a graph and the sidebar. And from this is our about.html file.